everybody, welcome to the Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now in our last episode, making an EVA foam Green Hornet gas gun part 1, we got neck deep into this thing. Had a lot of it built, but didn't have it all assembled, but it was going great. Nothing you can't do, totally easy. Which brings us up to now. In this episode, making an EVA foam Green Hornet gas gun part 2, we're going to complete the whole build. We're going to start assembling everything. We're going to do some pieces we hadn't started yet. And it'll be easy, just as easy as part 1. So if you're ready to hit it, let's make something. Okay, now we're going to begin assembling our whole barrel that curves around the back and all this sort of stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 3/4 inch EVA foam dowel, which is an 18mm dowel, and we are going to take this piece of 6mm foam that we're going to wrap around the end to create the barrel. And what we're going to do is we wrapped a piece around here, got our measurement, so we know this is how long it will need to be to wrap around here, but you've seen us wrap before, and it's always important to cut a bevel on the end so when they come together and touch, it goes down perfectly. So we're going to tip our knife a little bit to the side. We're going to go right through on an angle like that. See that? On an angle, just like that. All right, there we go. Bevels on both sides. Now, when we come in and we wrap this, it should touch right together like that. And it looks like it's going to. Beautiful. All right, let's knock these straight edges off. Like that. That. And now what we're going to do is we're going to stick it down a little bit hanging over the edge like that, so we have a little recess here, which is exactly what we want. Okay, we got to get on the end because they're going to wrap around and make contact with each other. Now we've got both cemented. We're going to give it a couple minutes and then we'll make contact. All right, our dowel is anchored down. Now all right, now we're going to have to come down here and get these two to touch together, just like that, and that, and that. All right, we got the base of them down. There we go. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to pinch together just like this. Nice. Wow. We've got excellent contact. Now what we did was we forgot to put a little bit in this last little area right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, we're going to get our dab of contact cement. Just like that. Perfect. Now we've got contact cement down in here. We're going to give it a couple minutes till it dries, and then we're going to stick it together and it'll be perfect. But look at that. Look at that seam is tight. Man, that's nice. And it's got a little bit of a recess there for the barrel. Cool. All right, like we said, give it a couple minutes. Line our edges up perfectly, just like that. Nice, look at that. Really, really easy stuff. All right, now we've got our sight that's going to go on top of our barrel, which is cut a nice clean line on the back of this little detail right here. There we go. Beautiful. All right. All right. All right, there we go. Check that out. Nice. Got the sight on the front. Very cool. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to continue creating our whole barrel assembly. So what we've done is we've got the top piece. It's going to stop right here, and then here we're going to do a second piece that curves around right here. So what we're going to do is this, is we created a template just like that. Really easy stuff. So we're going to come in and we are going to bend this around our template just like that. And we're going to get the heat gun out and we're going to heat it up. Watch out for your fingers though, because man, this stuff will eat your skin right off. All right, there we go. Now we're just going to hold it there for a little bit and we're going to let it cool off. All right, there we go. Now when we let go of it, look at that. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to do these two little strips, and what these strips are is they are going to be these little collars that we're going to wrap around our dowel. So each side of this needs to be beveled, but then also the ends of these need to be beveled, so when we wrap it and touch it together, it goes together nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by doing our bevel cutting on the outside. So tip our knife at an angle. All right. Come to this side. We want an outward bevel, so we're going to tip our knife. Tip our knife. And then we're going to split it right down the middle, so we've got two of them. We have a bevel here, and a bevel here, and a bevel here. And the reason we're doing that is for this. We want to be able to wrap this around, and we want it to have this look, where this is flat and this is a bevel. But then we cut these bevels so that when it comes together, they go right together perfectly like that, which they did. All right, so we've got two of them now. Look, so we can go ahead and put a Sharpie line where we're going to do our contact cementing. All right. Go all the way around, keeping it flush with the end. Touch those together like that. We're going to roll it, and there we go. Man, look at that. That is so nice. Wow. We've got the little bevel. We've got the beveled front right here. Look at that. That looks exactly like that. Perfect. And easy. You can totally nail this. Okay, so now what we've done is we put this over our template. We know right where we're going to cut off our two pieces at, so let's knock this off on the bandsaw real quick. Then we'll wrap our collar around and we'll start moving on this piece. All right, there we go. Give it a couple minutes. Flush with the bottom edge, just like that. Ooh, that's tight. That is tight. So is that. Look at that. Good grief, man, that is spot on. All right, so this is going to attach to the back of here. And this is going to attach right here, just like that. Holy cow, is that cool. All right, here we go. Here is the 3 support rods that are going to go into our barrel. We've got them 3 different marks here. We've got the mark for how much of it is going to stick up in the barrel, how much is going to be seen, and then how much is going to stick into the top of the body. And it's the same thing here. So let's knock these off real quick on the bandsaw and we'll get to it. All right, there we go. There's our 3 pieces. We've got what's going to stick into the barrel, what's going to be seen, and what's going to go into the body. And then we've got that for these 2 as well, right there. There we go. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 holes in order to stick this wood dowel into place. So what we're gonna do is we measured how deep we need the hole to be. So we put a piece of tape there on both of our bits, just like that, so we know how deep to drill in. Now let's come in with our wider bit. There we go. Now we've got enough space, once we get cement on there, to wedge it in real tight, just like that. Perfect. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna come in with our pilot hole, and we've got our tape now to where we want to stop for our slightly longer measurement. We're gonna All right, there we go. 3 pilot holes. Now we're going to come in with our wider bit. Now we've got our matching holes on both sides. And now all right, there we go. There we go. We lined right up with our marks. All right, there we go. Nice. All right, check that out. We just coated the ends with contact cement. Normally we let our contact cement set up and dry before we stick it together, but for something like this, we got the dowels wet and then we slid them into the foam, and now what's gonna happen is that rubbed along the inside of the hole that we made. So now the contact cement on the dowels and the contact cement inside the holes, the moisture content is going to evaporate and then they're going to stick together. So this is perfect. All right, there we go. Give it a couple minutes. And we're just going to come in and we're going to line it up with our Sharpie marks we made. Just like that. Not hard. Nice. And now when we seal this with Plastidip, you're not going to know that those are wood dowels. Good. All right, time to go. We're going to stick the front down. We're going to line up our mark right there. And we're not going to stick it down because we don't want it to go down crooked. We're going to come around the back. We're going to check out our line right there. We're going to get it down, boom, right on the money. All right, now we're going to make sure we get good contact all the way around. That grip is crazy perfect. Wow, look at that thing. Ho, ho, ho. All right, there we go. 4 on the top, 4 on the front. Now we'll cut the pieces of our trigger. And the same thing on the inside edge here. Right at our corner like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to keep this flush right here all the way around. Okay, we're going to line up right here at this corner, just like that. That's pretty jamming. Now what we're going to do is we're going to alter the tip of this just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now let's smooth it out with our Dremel. All right, so now let's get it where it's in a comfortable spot. That's kind of too far forward. Let's slide it back. Ooh, that's pretty good. So it's up to you. You put it where it's going to be comfortable for your grip. All right, there we go. Give it a couple minutes. Okay, here we go. Now, we got to make sure that we hold one side back because we don't want it to accidentally stick down. So we're going to come in. We're going to get this side down first. So we're going to line our Sharpie marks up. See that? Make sure we got good contact, which we do. All right, now we're going to come around and we're going to get this part down. There we go, just like that. All right, here we go. Now we transferred this template over. This is going to be the gas cartridge on the front of our gun. And we transferred the pattern over here to this 1-inch thick foam. That's 24 millimeter. Now what we're going to do is this. You've seen us do this before. Well, we're going to cut this pattern out on the scroll saw. And then when we're done cutting it out on the scroll saw, we're going to roll it over and we're going to transfer the pattern to this side and do it again on that side. So let's move over to the scroll saw and hit it. All right, check that out. Not bad. Now we're going to take our paper template. We cut this side. Now we're going to roll it over to this side and transfer our template and then cut this side next. We drew our pattern on, now we're going to make these cuts. All right, there we go. Look at that. That's our shape. Kind of roughed out a little bit. Now we're going to come in with the Dremel, and it's going to be a Dremel fest to round this thing off. All right, now we used our circle template. We made our circle. It's going to be our base for this little piece. So we're going to come in. Get some of it off of there. All right, there we go. Drop it in place. Before it sets up, we're going to move it around to get it right where we want it. All right, there we go. Let's get all that squeeze out off of there. All right, there we go. We've got our mark there, and we've got our spot roughly here. Give it a couple minutes. Line up our Sharpie marks with what we made right here and here. All right, now before we touch down here, let's get this attached just like that. All right, there we go. We're attached right here. Now we're gonna come in, line it up, make sure we're looking pretty nice and straight. We're gonna get some pressure on it. Man, is there anything funner than this? Holy cow, this is so fun. Wow. Look at that. That's a 12 millimeter. And we're going to come in and we're going to put it down in here, right up against the bottom of the body. So it's and then we've got this end here, and we've got this end here, the bottom. All three sections in here cemented. 1, 2, 3 cemented here. So we're going to let this all sit for just a minute. Check it out. Okay, now what we did is we created this piece with another 1/2-inch piece of foam, and we angled the front. We got in here and we measured. We angled the front. We're going to take this little piece. We're going to come in here behind the trigger, and we're going to slide that in right back here. And what we could do if we wanted to really make it match the look is we could curve this, the back of it, like this. See that? Stand our knife straight up, and we're gonna saw up and down, and we're gonna go right through our piece. There we go. Right. A little bit more of a finished look to it. Let's clean it up. Some super glue down on the bottom and the top. Slide it in place just like that. All right, check that out. This piece was part of the plan. This triangle was not, but we improvised, we measured it, we rounded the back of it so it looks like it totally fits in. Okay, now this is going to be the little strip we're going to put around the clip sticking out of the bottom of our handle. And we measured it with an extra piece of foam so we know it's going to reach from this dot to that dot, and all these little dots in the middle are little cuts we're going to make with the X-Acto knife. And then we're going to hit it with heat, and it's going to open up those creases that we made with the X-Acto knife. All right, now we're going to come in and we're going to slice right through those Sharpie lines, just like that, and that, and right there. Line it up. All right, we're just going to keep wrapping. So what we want to do is very carefully, we want to come in and we want to put some super glue right on the inside there and right in there. There we go. All right. Look at that, nice. It's a nice little detail right around there. All right, now we took a 4mm piece of foam, came in with our brass tube, popped out a couple little rivets. Really simple. Dip it. All right, now we're going to come in with our skinny little bit and we're going to put a little rivet right on the end of that. Wow, that turned out great. Look at that, right in there. That is really cool. And again, right there, nice detail. That is really jamming. We're gonna give this thing a once over just to tighten up all the foam. All right, now what we did is we hit this little back end again with a little more heat just to open those little creases up even a little bit further. Nice, now the whole thing's got a nice tight surface. Look at that, wow, that is super sweet, man. Wow, that thing fits nice in your hand. That is a swell looking prop right there. Wow. All right, there it is, completely built. Nice, man, this thing went down perfectly. Everything fit nice and tight, just as planned. Totally doable. The one thing that we screwed up on is we forgot to hit film on the camera to see the dremeling of the gas cartridge. Dang it. But you've seen us Dremel a million times before. We started off with the square edges and we just took our time, rounded off all the edges, curved the little back piece, curved the end. Totally doable. You've seen all the dremeling we've done. It's totally easy. And everything turned out great. Love this thing. Wow, nice. And that's it. That concludes making an EVA foam Green Hornet gas gun part 2. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're going to go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. See you next time.